When did you decide to be a catechist?
Oh, about 4 years ago when my granddaughter started catechist classes, and I had to be here anyway, so I decided I might as well help out.
What motivated you in the beginning?
Well, in the beginning, I lost a son 7 years ago in an accident, and that kind of drew me closer to the church and God. So the more that I get involved in the church, the pain eases up just a little bit easier. So that kind of motivated me a lot.
What advice do you have for anyone who's considering to be a catechist, but maybe they're afraid or think they don't know enough or something?
Well, I felt the same way in the beginning, and there's really nothing to be afraid of because there's really a good support system here, but it's really rewarding, and I would suggest it for anybody.
What grade do you teach?
3rd grade.
When did you start teaching?
Back in the 90s, and I taught 3rd grade then and other grades also. Here I've been teaching about close to about 4 or 5 years in this church here.
What motivated you in the beginning?
I am a convert, and I was always seeking to learn more and more about Christ, and I felt that it's calling from God, and I want my children, which is my class, to learn as much as they can about God, because a lot of them don't learn everything at home. And of course, they're not going to learn everything from me, but at least they'll have something, something learning about Mary, and the Bible and how to use the Bible, so that when they get older, they're not just looking at a picture book. They can actually go into a youth Bible and say, oh, yeah, Miss Shar taught me so-and-so, and about the holidays and all that, that's coming up, not just to go through it. I want them to feel it.
I currently teach 2nd grade. However, I started with 5th grade many, many years ago, and I have also taught pre-K, but currently I'm teaching 2nd.
Okay. And what was it that motivated you in the beginning?
I wanted to pass on, I guess, the love of God to the children and a little history. I'm a history nut, so I like to pass on a little bit of the history about our church to them.
Cool. And why do you continue to be a catechist even today?
I enjoy it. I love the children, and I learn just as much from them as, I think, more so than they learn from me, and I really just enjoy doing it.
And what advice do you have for anyone who's considering being a catechist, but maybe they're afraid, they're intimidated?
I would just say go for it. It's not as difficult as it looks.
I co-teach with the 4th grade.
Why do you continue to be a catechist even now?
I like waking up on Sundays and thinking, what can I teach these kids? What can I tell them that will keep them in their minds all throughout the week? And coming back on what makes them come back on Sunday for my teachings or someone else's teachings. I want to give them a reason to come back every Sunday and then to keep going with their teachings. And hopefully one day they'll do the same thing I'm doing.
And what advice do you have for anyone who's considering being a catechist, but maybe they're intimidated, they don't feel like they have enough training?
I'd say my advice is training isn't very an issue. You start off as an aide, you just give supplies out, and you listen to their classes. I would say the biggest word of advice I have is probably listen to what they're doing, because when you finally become a co-teacher, you can start making lessons up on the fly, and it'll be very easy. And I'd say listen to the kids' concerns and try to make a lesson out of that.
My name is Jessie Camerari.
And what grade do you teach?
This year, 6th grade.
What advice do you have for anyone who's considering being a catechist, but maybe they're intimidated or don't think they don't have what it takes?
Well, take it from me, I'm not a teacher, and the amazing part about this is the kids actually teach you, and after a class, you come out, and it's amazing how every time you learn something. So.
Anything else you'd like to say about being a catechist or encouragement to other people?
Give it a try. Give it a try. Nobody is putting a chain and ball on your foot. If it don't work out, you gave it a try.
My name is Nancy Figueroa.
And which grade do you teach?
Right now I'm currently teaching 5th graders.
What advice do you have for anyone who's considering being a catechist?
I feel that my best advice to give to them is the love that you have inside, you can share with others, especially with children who are learning every day, growing up, is helping them to grow and to be patient. If you have that patience, then everything, will come together. So I think, you grow up together, and as years go by, the kids see you, and you still you feel like, your children are growing up with you. So it's really nice. It's a great experience.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're a great teacher.
Thank you.
I'm Alex Ferreira.
What grade do you teach?
I teach 7th grade.
What advice do you have for anyone who wants to be a catechist but isn't sure about it?
Well, honestly, I wasn't sure myself at the beginning. I only started out of, I guess I could say, I felt obligated to help Miss Lorraine out. But after a week or two, I was like, I'm really having fun with this. I started to actually plan lessons. And for me personally, I say the biggest thing that helped me become a catechist besides the obligation was just the fun I had. People say, I can't be a catechist, quieting down the kids is too hard, working with children is too hard. And then I say, it could be a challenge sometimes, but when you really rope in their attention and you have fun with them, and they learn at the same time, then it's really great. You have a blast.
Is there anything else you want to add?
About being a catechist or volunteering or anything? The
Well,
youth of today.
For the youth of today, well, honestly, I feel kind of bad saying this, but for those of you who, say, people want to be an aide, you don't have to be a catechist. You just help them out. You give out papers or give out pencils. It's community service hours. I know for the Bright Futures Scholarship, you do need community service. And it's just another way to give back to your community, give back to your church. You don't have to be a catechist and go that extra mile, but it's really rewarding if you do.
Okay. Well, what is your name?
Sarani Wong,
What grade do you teach?
8th grade.
So what motivated you in the beginning?
Wanting to learn more about the Catholic faith. Teaching the kids also teach me, being that I was going through the RCIA program. At that time, I was also learning the faith, learning from them, and it gives me an opportunity to learn more of the Catholic faith.
So why continue to be a catechist now?
Because I want to share what I've learned. Everything that I've learned as a child growing up, I've always loved all the rich tradition of the Catholic faith, and I love our faith. I've gone to different churches with relatives, but nothing is like our Catholic faith, and I enjoyed sharing it with the children of the past.